Okie dokie, nerd burgers. We finished learning about the short-term regulation of blood pressure. So the things that happen really, really quickly. Now what we need to do is we need to look at things or mechanisms, homeostatic mechanisms that take a bit of time to exert their effects. So there's only two of those, and that's the RAS system and ANP. So it's only two. Right, so I'm just going to go through with you step by step what happens in the RAS system. So the RAS system, or RAS, stands for renin, angiotensin, aldosterone system. Right, so this is a system or a process that kicks in when your blood pressure drops. So your kidney keeps an eye on your blood pressure as well. So this is, can you see how we have multiple mechanisms? Keeping an eye on your blood pressure, because your blood pressure is so important. So when your kidney detects a drop in blood pressure, what it does is that it starts to release a molecule called renin. Here we go. Now renin is dumped into your bloodstream, systemic circuit. Now what renin does, renin causes this molecule, angiotensinogen, that is made by the liver, that is also floating around in your blood. Renin causes angiotensinogen to become angiotensin 1. Okay, so now we have angiotensin 1 floating around in our bloodstream. Angiotensin 1 floats around, and then eventually it ends up in our lung tissue. Now in our lung tissue we have an enzyme that lives there. That enzyme is called ACE. Not because it's awesome, because ACE stands for angiotensin converting enzyme. So when angiotensin 1 interacts with ACE, it becomes angiotensin 2. Right. I know there's a few steps involved, but you know what? This is medicine. I don't know why I said it like that. I didn't mean to be sarcastic. I'm just saying that this is as hard as it gets. This is medicine. All right, so now we have angiotensin 2, which is floating around our systemic circulation. Now, angiotensin 2 does two things. Number one, it is a powerful vasoconstrictor. Is that going to solve our problem? It should help. The other thing that angiotensin 2 does is that it tells the adrenal gland to secrete aldosterone. Now, we haven't done the endocrine system yet, but for now, all you need to understand is aldosterone is our salt saver, which means that when in the kidney, when aldosterone is hanging around, it makes sodium move from the urine back into the blood. Now, another rule of the universe is that where sodium goes, water follows. So if you move sodium from the urine back into the blood, water will follow it. And so that's going to help with our blood pressure problem. Yay, the RAS system. It wasn't that bad. Yay, the RAS system. Make sure you know all the steps. This is a very, very simple system. Way less steps than the RAS system. This one has got to do with a little protein called atrial natriuretic peptide. Now, this little protein is released by the cells of your atria. When your atria cells notice that they are being overly stretched, so the cells of your heart, your atria, your chambers, when they are being overly stretched, they release this little protein. Now, you know what? This little protein, what it does, it floats around in your blood and then it causes vasodilation. So it's going to decrease your blood pressure. And again, it's a negative feedback loop. The other thing this little protein does, it actually goes to your kidneys and tells your kidneys to get rid of salt and water as well. So the little job of this little protein is to lower your blood pressure, and it does it doing these two things. Check him out. This is the primary structure. Remember when we talked about protein structure? Primary structure is the amino acid chain. How cool is it? Pretty cute. All right, so you may have to add more boxes, but you make sure you know all the steps involved in those long-term mechanisms to maintain blood pressure homeostasis. Yay, homeostasis. Hooray for homeostasis. Just a little bit more information. You know this already. Blood flows where the tissue demands it. So if you're just chilling, like the guy here having a beer, then your blood's not really going to go to your legs, right? But if you're playing a game of soccer, then your blood is going to go less towards your digestive organs and more towards your muscles. So blood pressure and where the blood flows is driven by tissue demand. Here we go. Look at this. When you're just chilling, some of it, look how much is going to your kidneys. So when you're chilling, you're making urine. And look, you're making urine and you're digesting the beer that you had, or digesting the McDonald's that you had. When you're undertaking a run, your muscles are getting most of your blood. Your kidney's not getting much and you're not digesting much of anything. Look. And your heart is getting a lot more blood to itself. It's just chilling. It's only getting a little bit. Now, have a look at this. When you're chilling, look how much blood your brain gets. But when you're like running, you kind of get the same amount of blood. Well, maybe a little bit less. So it does, the brain kind of doesn't shift a lot with regards to how much blood it gets. But look at this. Look at your skin. When you're chilling out, it only gets a little bit. But when you're running, it gets a lot. That's because your skin is your major thermoregulator. So we use our skin to make sure that our body temperature is just right. And we'll learn about the skin in 175. Yay! We all done.